if you're in the class, and let me know if you can hear me. Good afternoon, bon dimanche. Je remercie l'Éternel aujourd'hui. On est là ensemble. Merci beaucoup d'être en classe. Merci beaucoup. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. Soyez le bienvenu. On attend les autres. Dans 3 minutes, nous allons commencer avec le cours. If you can hear me, say, Monsieur, je t'entends. Oh, I can hear you. Thank you very much. We are live now. Okay. All right. We are live. Let's go. Yesterday, we dealt with quite a lot of things. On a fait beaucoup de choses hier. Nous avons commencé avec les verbes, les formes verbaux en français. Et j'ai dit dans la classe hier que nous avions au moins 7 modes des verbes français. There are 7 modes of the French verbs. Et avec ce mode-là, nous avons au moins 25 temps des verbes français. Et hier, on a commencé avec le temps de l'indicatif. On a abordé ce que nous appelons le présent de l'indicatif. Et hors de la conjugation que vous habituez déjà, on a essayé de souligner de façon les fonctions, ce qui compte actuellement. So yesterday we dealt with the function of the mood indicative, precisely le présent. Et après ça, on a abordé le passé. Après le passé, on a souligné l'imparfait. L'imparfait. Par la grâce de Dieu, cet après-midi, nous allons continuer où on s'est arrêté hier. Et dans cette classe, on va apprendre généralement le temps de passé simple, l'antériorité et le futur. Et après cela, on va aborder l'antériorité et en même temps, nous allons aborder la postériorité. Et après, nous allons finir avec cela. Nous allons essayer d'entamer les verbes pronominaux. De quoi s'agit-il? Quelles sont les formes, les différentes formes des verbes pronominaux? So, we're going to look at all those very, very soon. Please, if you can hear me, can I get you? Somebody said, Monsieur, I cannot connect, but I can see you on the live section. So why can't you connect? So please, let's be fast. Let's be fast. If you can hear me, let me know how many of you can hear me. I want to go into the class now, and we are going to be having a wonderful time. Okay, let's continue. Les verbes. Okay, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir. I can hear monsieur. I can hear you, sir. Ouais, pour ceux qui ne peuvent pas entendre actuellement, why don't you go out and come in again? That should be better for you. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. Thank you, Ejiro. I can see that. Blessing can hear me. Grace, you heard me yesterday. What's happening to your phone today? Please go out and come back in. I think that should be good enough for you to go. All right. If you cannot hear me, go out and come in. Let's see. I'm giving a few more seconds. I'll be starting exactly the lecture fully now in the next 90 seconds. 90 seconds. I'll run with the lecture. There's no time to waste. I can hear you, monsieur. All right. Isaac, thank you. You can hear me. You can hear me. Thank you so much. Let's delve into it. Okay. Yesterday, we stopped at, okay, I can hear you now, sir. Good. That's what you do. You go out and come in again. It will be clear. So, everybody can hear me. Hier, on s'est arrêté avec les fonctions de l'imparfait. On a fait le présent, on a fait le passé composé, on a fait l'imparfait. Maintenant, on va faire le passé simple. Yesterday, or même, I also told you that the passé simple and passé composé, they have almost the same function, but they are different. Now, what does it mean the passé simple and the passé composé? For the passé composé, c'est une action qui s'est passée, et puis cette action-là, on peut relier ça au présent. Il y a une action qui s'est passée, mais on peut relier cette action-là au présent. Ça, c'est le passé composé. And that is action that happened in the past. You are talking about it in the present, but it can be linked. You can trace it to the present. But imperfect, the action that happened in the past did not end in the past. So that is l'imparfait for you. Then for passé simple, we also call it passé historique. C'est-à-dire une action qui s'est passée, mais il n'y a aucun lien avec le présent. The action happened in the past, but there is nothing like any link to the present. We call it passé historique. Là, pendant notre discussion hier, notre échange hier, j'ai donné la manière de conjuguer les formes de verbes. Alright, les formes de verbes. Now, I talked about your present. You know how to conjugate present already. Premier group, deuxième group, and troisième group. I should not be teaching you that one at this level. You should know that by now. Then I'm teaching you the function. But I talked about how you can conjugate in l'imparfait. That you begin generally from your nous parlant. You take that your nous, the verb form of the nous, and then you remove the termination, and then you add the endings. AIS, AIS, AIT, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT, AIENT for il and nous in the and L in the plural. Now, when you come to passé simple, there is something I want you to take note of very much. The very first thing that you must master what called the participe passé of the verb. Now, for you to do passé simple very well, pour bien conjuguer au niveau de passé simple, il te faut une bonne connaissance de passé composé. C'est-à-dire, si tu le participe passé d'un verbe. Now, let's take the verb parler or the regular verb, first person, first group verb, parler, or you say manger, or you say regarder, any of them. Now, for you to conjugate in the passé simple, pay attention now. You remove the termination of the participe passé of that verb. Let's say you have parler with P-A-R-O. L-E accent aigu. That is your participe passé of the verb parler. Now, to conjugate the verb in your passé simple, take that participe passé of the verb, remove that E in the participe passé. Then you add your termination. For je, you're going to have AI. For tu, you add AS. For il and L, you add A. For nous, you add A accent circonflexe. A accent circonflexe. A with chapeau. A accent circonflexe. MES. Nous parlons. You will see quite a lot of that as you are reading your novels. So we're going to look at it tomorrow when I meet you in class, and then you are going to see all this. So make sure you come to school tomorrow with that novel I told you to get. It's important. Make sure you come with it. Very important. And I might even decide to use that for you as your test. Tomorrow you might have to do it in class. So make sure you come with your novel tomorrow to the class. So thank you very much. Now back to parler I was talking about at the passé simple. Remove the termination E. Add your AI to your je. Add your AS to your tu. Add your A to your il and L. Then add your A accent circonflexe, A with chapeau, then MES to your nous level. We have called nous parlons. Then add your A accent circonflexe, then TES for vous parler. That's for vous parlâtes. Then you add your E accent grave, RENT. That is how you conjugate the verb in passé simple. Now, for verbs that end in IRE, they have, for example, the verb dire. It becomes DIT in the participe passé of the verb. J'ai dit au professeur. J'ai dit à mon camarade in passé composé. Now, to conjugate it in passé simple, you remove that your IT at the end, that your T rather at the end. You add your A, DIS, DIT for il and L. Then you now have your I with chapeau, with circonflexe. I circonflexe, MES for the nous. I circonflexe, TES for the vous. Then IRE for the il and L in the plural. That is how you conjugate it. Now, there are some other verbs that ends in Y. That ends in U, rather, the U, that is letter U. Like we have due, for example. You have crew, for example. Those verbs that ends in U as their participe passé, like view, J view. Those verbs that ends like that. How do you go about their passé simple conjugation? What you are going to basically do then is the fact that you remove that your normal U, put your US for je, US for tu, UT for il, UT again for L. Then you add your you accent circumflex MES, you accent circumflex TS, then you add your URENT. That is how you conjugate it. Now, having talked about the conjugation of your passé simple, the next thing I'm interested in right now is how do you use it? What's the function of it? But before then, how do you conjugate those two verbs, the verb avoir and the verb être in passé simple? For the verb être, you have je fus, F-U-X, tu fus, F-U-S, il fut, F-U-T for il, elle fut, F-U-T. Then you have nous fûmes, F-U-M-E-S, you have accent circumflex. You have vous fûtes, F-U circumflex, T-E-S. Then if you, F-U-R-E-N-T, elle fut, F-U-R-E-N-T. That is for that particular one. Now for the verb avoir, how do you conjugate it in passé simple? You have je, E-U-S for je, tu eus, E-U-S. You have il eut, E-U-T, elle eut, E-U-T. Then for nous, we have nous eûmes, E-U accent circumflex, M-E-S. For vous, E-U accent circumflex, T-S. And then you have your E-U-R-E-N-T for the plural. That's how you conjugate the verb. I take it again for the conjugation to make it easier. There are verbs that the participle passé ends either in the phoneme A or A. When they end that way, you remove that participle passé and you add your AIS for regular verb. AIS, AI, AS, AA, AMES, ATES. Now when it ends in E for the participle passé, for the verb dire, you remove that E at the last phoneme and you add your IS, IT, IMES, ITES. That is how you go about that conjugation. Now, let's look at this sentence together. I want to bring down. Let's say somebody died, and the person that's dead is historical. Remember, this passé simple is historical. You want to talk about it, you can say il mourut, M-O-U-R-U-T. Please take note, in your exam, you have at least 3 to 4 questions that will require the conjugation of passé simple. That's for sure. So note that already. The exam questions are set. And so, il mourut le 17 janvier 1902. That is, the person died in 1902. 1902 is an historical date, so and it doesn't have anything to do with the present. So you use that conjugation, il mourut. Now, the next thing I want you to take note of is the fact that this passé simple, the reason I'm teaching it, because you're already doing literature. And in literature, you are going to meet it is used majorly at the il and elle, first and second person, and then the nous and vous at times, then for your plural in literary text. So it's a temps de récit, temps historique, temps de raconter, temps de conte. And so as you read literary works, you are going to meet this particular conjugation, and that is how it is used. Let me give you another example. A president was, let's say, Nigeria Obasanjo was elected in 1999. I could say, le président Obasanjo fut élu. Le président Obasanjo fut élu en 1999. Obasanjo was elected in 1999. I'm only using it at the historical level. It has nothing to do with the present. So when you use the passé simple, it breaks every connectivity with the present. It's only talk about what happened in the past. That is the function of passé simple. Like I said, it's used in historical text, it's used in literary text, and those are the language of writing in canonical literatures and most of the literary works you are going to read, except the ones that are in 21st century that relate to current experiences. That is for the passé simple. Now, please, before I continue, I want to go now to what called the future simple, the future. But if you have any question, the live chat is open. Please drop your question there, and I will take it now as I am taking the future. Let's go over as I expect your question. Le futur. Now, when you say le futur, remember yesterday in our last interaction, I told you that the présent de l'indicatif can also be used to say what is going to happen in the future that is not far from now. I want to say I'm going to leave in 2 hours. I can say that using my futur proche to my présent. Je vais partir dans 2 heures. I'm going to leave in 2 hours. Je vais partir. Now, if I want to use the future as it is conjugated, referring to that same 2 hours, I'm going to use it, but I'm going to put what we call le marque temporel. Le marque temporel. Le marque temporel. Le marque temporel. All right, I'm going to come back to you, Ken. The usage and the conjugation of passé simple is not yet clear, sir. I will come back to it. Le marque temporel, before I finish the future. Now, let me go back to passé simple. Passé simple is conjugated with the participe passé of the verb. Now, generally, most of the participe passé ends either with the phoneme a or e for regular verbs. And I pick parler. It becomes P-A-R-O-L-E accent aigu. Now, to conjugate that verb in passé simple, remove that E accent aigu in that parler. Now, for where you have je, put AI. Where you have tu, put AS. Where you have il and L, put AA. Where you have nous, put A accent circonflexe, NES. Those are the terminations. For vous, put ATES. Put for the il and L plural, ERENT. That is how you conjugate it. Now, for the usage, it is used to recount historical account. What happened in history? Let's say Nigeria became independent in 1960. Nigeria became independent in 1960. I'm giving it as an historical account. It's not related to the present. There's no link to the present. I'm going to say, le Nigeria fut indépendant en 1960. Le Nigeria fut indépendant. That fut there, the verb être, conjugated, F-U-T, third person singular. Le Nigeria fut indépendant en 1960. That is the usage and the conjugation. Now let's go now to the future. Now I said to determine the usage of the future and your présent, because I use the présent for future account, for passé récent, for futur proche, I say je vais partir. That is aller plus infinitive in my future proche. Je vais partir, je vais manger, je vais voyager. When I say je vais voyager, je vais partir, I don't need to indicate the time most of the time. Now, but when I use future, I will say je voyagerai demain. That demain there is an adverb of time, is a marker of time. So when we use future prof, this future is also what we call le manque de temps temporel. Another example, bientôt nous serons en vacances. Now you are preparing for your exam. Let me use that example now. Bientôt, vous serez en vacances. Bientôt, vous serez. That verb serez there is the verb être in future. J'aurai, je serai, tu serais, il sera, elle sera, nous serons, vous serez. Bientôt, very soon, la classe, les étudiants seraient, vous serez en vacances. Now that bientôt there is marking time. So I can use future in that line. So when I use that future, you use it to indicate, you use that le marque temporaire, that is time, you indicate the time. Bientôt. Je voyagerai à Lagos la semaine prochaine. La semaine prochaine is a marker of time in that particular sentence, and so I can use future there. But if I say je vais voyager, that is future proche. I don't need to indicate the time. If I say je voyagerai demain matin, je voyagerai ce soir, je voyagerai l'après-midi, je voyagerai dans 2 heures. I'm indicating the time. So that is how you use future. Now, future is also used generally to predict. Yes, for predictions. You indicate the future. You use future for that as well. Let's say, for example, I want to say, okay, let's say you are going to graduate very soon by God's grace in a few years' time, 2 years maximum, plus you are going to be a graduate. You want to say that when I graduate, I'm going to work in so and so, I'm going to do so and so thing. You can simply say, quand je terminerai mes études. That is, when I'm done with my studies, put whatever you want to put there, and then you tell us what you want to do. So you are already predicting what you are going to do in the future. You use future for that one. Now, how do you conjugate future? Very interesting. Now, let's go back to your verb. When you go to your verb, for ER verb, write the entire ER verb. Add the terminaison. AI there, AS, you have your A there, you add this terminaison, your A is there, and then you add your ONS, your EZ, your ENT, your ENT. You have conjugated the verb, ER verb, in what we call the future. That is how I'm going to leave it. Let's go back to the functional. You also use the future, apart from indicating time, to predict the future. You also use it to give orders. Yeah. You can use it to express orders. You can use it to also give directives. Let's say you have this sentence now. Vous ferez pour demain l'exercice 14. Now, let me make it clear. Tomorrow you are going to be doing your test. Yeah, in this course. Vous ferez pour demain votre exercice, votre épreuve. Pour fall 210. Vous ferez pour demain votre épreuve pour fall 210. And you are going to do tomorrow your test. I just giving you that. What is at an order. You are going to do that tomorrow. Now, I can also use it to give directive rather. Let's say I give you this sentence now. Nous nous retrouverons à 15h. Nous nous retrouverons à 15h devant le bureau du chef de département. Alors, make it easier. Nous nous retrouverons demain à 14h pour l'épreuve de fall 210. We are going to meet tomorrow by 2 p.m. for our test. Nous nous retrouverons demain pour notre épreuve demain à 14h pour notre épreuve de fall 210. So that is on that one. You want to take note of it. That is used to give directives. So I just gave you a directive now. I'm going to be meeting tomorrow in the afternoon for our test at CA. So I use the future in that light. Nous nous retrouverons demain à 14h pour notre épreuve de fall 210. Another thing to take note of is that you also use the future to give promises. Yeah, you make promises with the future tense. Ah, je te le promets, papa, je n'échouerai jamais. At least you're about to leave the house for school, for example, and then your dad is telling you, remember whose child you are. Don't go and embarrass me in school. Make sure you do well in your studies. And you say, Papa, I'm promising you I will not fail in school. I say, je te le promets, papa, je n'échouerai jamais échouer. Je n'échouerai jamais à l'école. I'm promising you that I'm not going to fail. I will never fail in school. It's a promise. So you use it to make promises also. That is the function of the future. The next function of the future is that you use it to make predictions. Predictions, yeah. Use it to make predictions. Let's say we have il pleuvra sur la majeure partie du pays. Let's say it's rainy season now, and then a good February 24th, 25th of this month of this year, that was election day, and it rained cat and dog after the election. And then let's say someone wanted to predict that it's going to rain that day. You can make that prediction before that time using the future tense. And we say il pleuvra from the verb pleuvoir. Il pleuvra dans la plupart de la partie du pays. It's going to rain in most parts of the country. Maybe after you have watched the weather forecast, it's going to be raining in Lagos, in Kaduna, in Bayelsa, in Delta, in Rivers, in KB. I say il pleuvra dans la plupart de parties du pays. That is on the usage of the future. Now for the future proche, I've said that already. How do you use future proche? You use future proche for an action that will happen the moment the speaker finishes speaking. C'est-à-dire une action qui se déroulera après le temps où le locuteur parle. Right now, I'm teaching you. Let's say I'm gonna do something when I'm done with this class. I'm gonna be going back to the work I was doing on my laptop or the work I was doing, the research work I was going on. I could simply say that je vais faire de recherche après cette classe. After this class, now I'm going to be doing some research work. Je vais faire. I use the verb aller, conjugated in present, plus the infinitive, we call it futur proche. That is how you use futur proche. Now, there is another thing you are not used to, which I want to bring to your knowledge right now. We call it être sur le point d'eau. Now, futur proche is what you are going to be doing after the moment of speech. However, when you say être sur le point d'eau, you are talking about an action. On parle d'une action after the moment that you're also speaking. Let's say, for example, I want to say, je ne dors pas encore. Je suis sur le point de m'endormir. You are in a hostel. You lay on the bed. Your roommate is trying to get your attention, and they say, Grace, are you there? Are you sleeping, Grace? And then you say, je ne dors pas. Je suis sur le point de m'endormir. I'm on the point of getting myself to sleep. Je ne dors pas. Je suis sur le point de m'endormir. That is, I'm on the point of getting myself to sleep. I'm not yet sleeping. So what you are about to do at that time you are speaking, that is what you use être sur le point de. I want to believe you've gotten it. Please, can I get your reactions if you have any question? I've looked at passé simple. I've looked at futur. There are other things I want to touch right now because tomorrow we might be wrapping up the course. All right. So are you there? Let me get your reaction. You have any place I want me to correct? You want me to come in again? I'm trying to speak as slow as I can so that you can get what I'm saying, since I have no way of reducing the speed. Okay, while I wait for your reactions as you type them on the WhatsApp, on the live chat, let's continue. What about call l'antériorité and postériorité? I'm not going to dwell much on this one so that your brain is not overcharged at this level. Now, what this really means is that there are some actions you take after other actions. There are the ones you take before some actions. The one you take before, they are called l'antériorité. The one you take after, they are called postériorité. I'm going to leave it there without bugging your head with much of that. By second semester, whoever is going to be taking you the course will handle that and you will get more about that. But I'm waiting for your question. I've looked at passé simple. Okay. The last one, ça, être sur le point d'eau is être sur le point d'eau. Être sur le point d'eau. At least you are about to. Être sur le point d'eau. So, sur is missing from what you wrote there. Kende, thank you so much for bringing that out. Please, the rest of us, where are you? I'm not seeing. I want to see your. I'm trying to scroll through now to get your questions. Please, you must have one or two because I want to go to something else right now. It's very important. I want to finish it up. Okay, while we wait for your questions, the next thing I'm going to be talking about now is called les verbes pronominaux. Yeah, you heard me. Okay, can we also use être sur le point in past? Il était sur le point de partir. Of course, it can be used. Être sur le point de. It can be used. Okay? We want to go to what we'll call, you will learn the other mode of the French verb. We've done with indicative mode later on in second semester. Whoever is taking the course will handle that. Right now, what we want to look at is called we call them les verbes pronominaux. Now, when you go to your dictionary and you have your verbs, most of the verbs you have there, you call them les verbes radicaux generally, they're just there, they are not verbes pronominaux. However, there's a particular form of verb in French, we call them les verbes pronominaux. And they are very important because when I watched the video you made, I saw quite a lot of issues with your pronunciation and some of your conjugation. But that notwithstanding, you did wonderfully well, and I must commend you for that. So I'm going to run through two different things now. When I run through them, I'm going to teach you the last thing I want to teach you tomorrow, and then that will be over for the course. We're going to be doing what we call revisions upon revision. Let's take the one we can take now, and let's see how far we can go. We call them les verbes pronominaux. When you say les verbes pronominaux, you have somebody say go back to future stamp. I don't understand. Sorry, our time is against us. I will revise it with you tomorrow, but I don't want to. I want to be sure that we have done what we should do today. Les verbes pronominaux. Now let's say you have this following verb. You have the verb savoir. You have the verb s'appeler. You have the verb regarder. You have the verb se regarder. You have the verb discuter. You have the verb se discuter. Pay attention right now. There are 5 questions in this section from your exam. Whether you like it or not, you're going to find it there. You have the verb se déplacer. Now, all these verbs that have so before them, they are called les verbes pronominaux. Now, these verbes pronominaux, there are verbs that are pronominaux by default. 1. Number 2, you can make other verbs pronominal verbs that are not pronominal verbs. Now, when you do that, as you look at pronominal verbs, we call accord in the past tense of it. So let's look at les verbes pronominaux at the present and past tense. Then we'll look at the function in the next 15 to 16 minutes as much as I can, and then we'll go to the last thing I want to talk to you about. Now let's go into it. Les verbes pronominaux. Now, un verbe est un verbe pronominaux si le sujet et l'objet sont la même personne généralement, sont la même chose. We can have verb pronominaux. Let me give you a sentence now. Je me lave. I love that one a lot. Je me lave. I'm taking my bath. Okay. Il se lave. Tu te laves. Elle se lave. Nous nous lavons. Vous vous lavez. Il se lave. Elle se lave. That is the verb pronominaux. Il se lave. Elle se lave. That is the verb pronominaux. Now, as you look at the conjugation I made orally now, you are going to find that there are 2 types of conjugation I made there. Number 1, that word so is called pronom reflexive or pronom pronominaux. I don't want to use, but use pronom reflexive generally. Now, for me to conjugate the verb, I have to conjugate that pronoun first of all. Now that pronoun so becomes mo for je. For tu, I have to. For il and elle, I have so. For nous, I have nous. For vous, I have vous. For il and elle plural, I have so. So I want to take the verb again. Now I'm going to use another verb. We call it the verb lever. Je me lève. That's the verb se lever. Je me lève à 6 heures. Je me lève. Tu te lèves à 10 heures. Il se lève à 3 heures. Elle se lève à 4 heures. Nous nous levons à 8 heures. Vous vous levez à 11 heures. Il se lève à midi. Elle se lève à midi. That is the conjugation of the verb se lever. I use it in sentences right now from what you can observe. And so you see, I conjugate the pronom personnel, the pronom pronominaux or pronom reflexive before conjugating the verb. The conjugation of the verb remains the same, but mind you, make sure you conjugate the pronom pronominaux or pronom reflexive very, very well. That is at the présent de l'indicatif. Now, that same verb pronominaux can be conjugated in the passé composé as well. can be conjugated at the passé composé level. For verbs generally, we use either the verb être or avoir to conjugate their past tense. That is how it works. However, for the pronominal verb, it's the verb être that we use to conjugate their passé composé. Let's take the verb pronominal now that we have. The verb se laver again. Se laver, se diriger, s'appeler. Now let's take s'appeler. Je m'appelle, tu t'appelles, il s'appelle, elle s'appelle. Nous nous appelons, vous vous appelez, il s'appelle, elle s'appelle. That's the present tense. Now I want to conjugate the verb s'appeler in the passé composé. Take note. Je me suis, the participle passé of the verb will come, the auxiliary of the verb will come after the pronoun reflexive. Yes. The auxiliary of the verb you are using, the verb être, will come after the pronoun reflexive. It come after the pronoun reflexive. I will say, je me suis levé. Tu t'es levé. Il s'est levé. Elle s'est levée. Now this is where the trick comes in. Because you are using the verb être, there's what we call accord du nom et du nombre et du genre. For the je me suis levé, there's no accord. Tu t'es levé, there's no accord. Il s'est levé, just your E as on the guy end, there's no accord. But when you come to elle s'est levé, there will be an extra E added to it. That is the accord with the subject elle, that it is feminine. Nous sommes levant. That levant, nous sommes levant. Nous sommes levés. Forgive me. Nous sommes levés. Nous sommes levés. That levé in that note take S because it's plural. Then vous êtes levés. We also take S, one of the plural form. Then ils se sont levés. We take S for the levé. Then elles se sont levées. We take extra ES. We call it accord du nombre et du genre. That's what you do when you conjugate those verbs in the passé composé. Now, having talked about how to conjugate the verb reflexive or verb pronominaux in the présent and passé, I want to make you understand that we have 3 different things that you must know as far as pronominal verbs are concerned. And this also goes a long way to affect the agreement, nombre à genre, when you are using it. Now, what are these forms of verb pronominaux? We have verb pronominaux réfléchis. Verbe pronominaux réfléchis. Les verbes pronominaux réfléchis. Number 1. Number 2. For the jour, grace, there's no accord. If you are a girl, you can put it, but nobody crucifies you for that. That's good to go. All reflexive verbs are pronominal verbs. Yes, precious. They are all reflexive verbs. They are all reflexive verbs. Now, we call them verb reflexive or verb pronominaux. Now, when you have this verb pronominaux, there are 3 things you must know. Number 1, we have verb pronominaux réfléchis. We have verb pronominaux réciproques. And we have encore les verbes pronominaux essentiels. And these ones are pronominal verbs by design. Se lever, se laver, they are pronominal. S'abstenir, se repentir. Now, let's say you go to church. Some of you went to church on Sunday. Today rather, and then the pastor want to say you must repent. You must give your life to Christ. Let's say he's preaching in the church. He want to say you must repent of your sin, for example. He will say vous devez vous repentir. You. Et on sait tirer, tu dois se repentir. So you have that se repentir, it is essentially a pronominal verb. Now let's come back to verb réfléchir. Why do we call them verb réfléchir? Why do we call them? When you say verb réfléchir, that means the person doing the action is also receiving the action. Take an example. Je me lave. When you take your bath, you are the one that does the action of taking your bath. C'est vous qui avez fait l'action de se baigner, de se laver. You took that action of bathing yourself. At the same time, that action was carried out on you. So we call it verb pronominaux réfléchir. The person carrying out the action is also the receiver of the action. For this particular type of verb, there will always be accord. The next one is verb pronominaux réciproque. Reciprocal. Now what it means is that, let's say Sani, responsable and responsable adjoint, they call themselves. Let me use Sani and Grace for example. I say Sani et Grace s'écrivent. Let me use that in the present tense. Sani écrit à Grace, et puis Grace écrit à Sani. I want to say Sani and Grace are writing to themselves. I will say Sani et Grace s'écrivent. That is, they are writing to themselves. Sani is doing the action, Grace receives the action. Grace does the action, Sani receives the action. So it's reciprocal. We both do the action and we both receive the action. We call it verb pronominaux réciproque. Now, we have made mention the fact that for verb pronominaux accord in number and gender. Now, elle s'est lavée. If I say elle s'est lavée in the passé composé, and she bathed herself, I'm going to add an extra E to make sure it agree in gender. Elle s'est lavée. However, when there is what we call l'objet direct, COD, object direct, in front of that construction, that particular accord will disappear. Ladies like to make their hair, and when they go to the salon, whenever they go to the beauty parlor, they wash their hair, they retouch it, whatever they want to do with it. Let's say a lady just went to wash her hair, to retouch her hair. I want to say she washed her hair. It's going to be elle s'est lavé les cheveux. That laver there will not take accord because the action is not being carried out on the person but rather on the hair. I take it again. Elle s'est lavée, she bathed herself. There's going to be an accord there. But when you say elle s'est lavé les cheveux, the moment there is encore complément objet direct, COD, that accord will no longer be on that person because the action now is carried out by the person on that particular complement. So that accord will be missing there. So those are the basic things you want to note as far as this particular verb pronominal is concerned. Now I want to give you some things to note. If you have a question on verb pronominal now, please start dropping it on the comment section, because I'm going to be going to the last thing I want to teach you, and officially I will come tomorrow by God's grace, maybe in the morning or in the afternoon, and then we're going to wrap up the course, and all we're going to have left is going to be revision, and then we'll see on exam day. Now let's continue. The next thing I want to talk about is the difference between the usage of pronominal verbs in English and French. I will not go too much into it, but now I want you to note this, that in French, generally, most of those verbes pronominaux essentiels, we use to get most of the time to translate them. Let's say we have se marier. It means to get married. To get married, se marier. Let's say we have s'habituer. It means to get used to. To get used to. s'habituer. Let's say we have again something like se lever. It means to rise up, to wake up, to get up. So you see, we're dealing with to get most of the time. So as you go about in your presentations and every other thing, you want to take this into cognizance. They're very important, and you are going to be doing well if you do that. So I'm going to pause now and allow you to ask one or two questions. If there's no question, I'm going to stop this video now so that we don't miss up things. This is the end of what we're going to be dealing with verbs. I will repeat now back to the question of those who ask questions now. Let me take the first one. Somebody said the passé simple endings again. All right, Kehinde, listen to me. I want to come back to your question now. So, Kehinde, if you are still in the live chat, can you just type je suis là or d'accord? Let me see that. Okay. Now, you said the endings of the passé simple. I go to it now. I'll look at the function of the passé simple. Now the endings. To conjugate your passé simple easily, you must know the participe passé of the verb. That's number one. Number two, you look at the participe passé of the verb generally. The phoneme that end most of them are either A or R, or you have something like E, or you have U. And those endings can be in form of E accent aigu for first group verb. Let's pick the verb parler that I used initially. Parler. P-A-R-L-E accent aigu. That is the participe passé of the verb aller. That is the participe passé of the verb aller. Now when I pick that, I will remove that A, that phoneme A, that participe passé there. I remove that A from the participe passé. I will add this terminaison. AI for je parler. I will add AS for tu parles. I will add A for il and elle parla, elle parla. The next thing I'm going to add A accent circonflexe, MES for nous. So I'm going to have nous parlons. I will add A accent circonflexe, TS for vous. I will have vous parlâtes. Then I'm going to take also and add RENT. ERENT for il and elle. Il parlait, elle parlait. So that's the conjugation of that. So please, the person that asked that question, can I see your response to let me know if you have gotten it before I take the next question? So now somebody said, Monsieur, go back to future. Okay. Okay. Now, say go back to future. What do you have for future? For future, I told you, it indicates actions in the future, and they are marked by what we call le manque temporel. And I gave you some examples. And one of them happens to be bientôt je voyagerai. Let me use that one now. I didn't use it before. Bientôt. That bientôt, there is an adverb of time. It's a marker of time. Bientôt je voyagerai. I'm going to be traveling soon. That is future. But when I say je vais voyager, I don't have to indicate the time. That's future proche. So that's the difference between the two of them I outlined earlier. It's all right. So I've looked at all this today. I will spend some time now, about almost 50 minutes. And I don't want to shoot. The next thing we're going to be dealing with, we have two more topics to deal with. I'm going to teach you one tomorrow morning. I don't want to bug your head. I want to go and digest these ones you have so far. I will allow you access to the video of yesterday so that you can prepare for the test, because everything I've taught you from beginning to this moment will appear tomorrow. That's for sure in the test. And also in your exam, you're going to see everything. So please take note of them, read them over and over again, and I will Okay, sir, you said for you there's no accord. I've answered that question already. And then I will see you tomorrow in class. So we have 2 topics left to deal with. It's a very large course. Thank God for the system we adopted. We have been able to cover much grounds. But you still have close to 20 questions in the exam for the lectures I'm going to give you tomorrow. Your exam is going to be coming, so please be prepared for that. And I know you are going to be fine. So you can read up as you prepare for tomorrow's class what I call les prépositions de lieu. I'm going to deal with les prépositions de lieu. It's going to be an online class in the morning from 8:30 or 8 o'clock. Depending on any of them, be okay. 8:30, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to deal with that for 1 hour. And then when I come back in the afternoon, when I meet you guys in the morning in the afternoon, I'm going to be traveling down. When I get there, we're going to take our test after we looked at what we call la négation. After those 2, I think we are good to go. So thank you so much for spending your time and being with me in this class. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your data. I'll see you tomorrow morning online, and then we're going to finish up with that particular topic. Please make sure you're online, and I will see you. Thank you so much. This is the end of the class. Je vous souhaite bonne soirée tout le monde. Au revoir.